Hello, witches! Yes, it is Wednesday. It is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Grab your goat, grab a drink, grab a shotgun, because we're talking about the devil. Yes, indeed. You might need a motorhome or two, and you definitely need some wheels. If you've got a motorcycle, jump on it, because it's a road movie. My name is Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might recognize me from Ghost Adventures, from my podcast, The Witching Hour, from my new book, Dollcraft. I always forget this in the very beginning, a lovely Llewellyn book. My other book, Old World Magic, or just my general love of coat all around. Let me pass this on and introduce you to my fellow witches and coven men. Today, let's start with golden-haired Jason Mankey.
I am Jason Mankey. I don't think I've ever gone first. I don't know what to say. I've written 10 books for Llewellyn. This is my latest book. It's High Priest, a biography of Raymond Buckland.
Thank you very much. Richard-Lael.
I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I'd be a... That's right. I am known as a gentleman psychic. I'm a psychic in a medium. I used to be a psychic in a small, but I gained some weight. Also, while we're here, those of you who are looking, make certain that you hit the like, subscribe, leave the comments. We love to read them. We will be lurking. We will be reading all of them and laughing wildly. So do all of those things. Also, you can go to the MysticControl.com if you want to wear the Mystic Shield, or as my friend Vincent in the comments he was wearing his Black Phillip coat today. So you can go right over there and find us.
Thank you very much. You look extra devilly today, Richard-Lael. Extra. And our very special regular guest, the one and only Thumper Forge. Welcome, Thumper.
Hello, I am Thumper Forge. I'm very excited for the Postmodern Witch. I am decked out in all of my Mystery Control finery, and tonight's movie is my fault, so I apologize in advance.
Thank you for that. It's good to know. I didn't know that. And we want to send our best to Courtney. We just saw her. She is alive, and she is recovering. So send her good magic, good witchy magic for the healing of our beautiful Courtney. Yes. So this week movie, 1975, I believe, correct? Race with the Devil. Peter Fonda, love. Loretta Swit, love. All sorts of other people, but hopefully you watched it. But just in case you didn't watch it, Richard-Lael, do you have your usual thorough and complete unbiased synopsis of this?
Oh, I certainly do. I certainly do. Before I go anywhere, I am Peter Fonda this. Anyway, Race with the Devil. It starts off like an episode of oh goodness, what was that game show in the 70s? The Price is Right. A brand new 1974 motorhome with shag carpeting, faux wood paneling, a bunk for the kids, and a brand new microwave. State of the art. This two couples go on holiday together. And they decide, I've gone to Wally World. I've gone to all of these other places. I even went to Korea, Loretta Swit. I've gone to these places. But you know where I haven't gone? Someplace really, really, really exists. Because there's nothing more exciting than the middle of rural Texas. So they go camping. Everyone try. Oh, sorry. I was just saying that. Yeah, it's not me. So anyway, I read everything I see. That's a quote, Jason Mankey. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Yes, I love it.
Okay.
We can screw with you now. You read everything you see. I love it.
Anyway, so these four couples go on this holiday, this grand holiday in a Winnebago, because nothing says class like Winnebago. They end up in the middle of Texas, and everything is great. They're riding their motorcycles, and the girls are at home in the camper, and the guys are out. And the guys witness satanic witches doing a satanic witch ritual. And you wouldn't know that they were satanic, excepting the fact that they're all dressed in black, and they're chanting, and then, of course, there is that whole sacrifice thing. So anyway, these four lucky contestants decide that they are going to escape these satanic witches. And lo and behold, these satanic witches are far reaching. So they have, first of all, there are snakes. There are mother effing snakes in the mother effing motorhome. And I'm tired of all of these mother effing snakes in this mother effing motorhome. Anyway, so that's a real threat. But meanwhile, as they're escaping these satanic witches, they find a note that tells them that that everything they have had is going to come back upon them. Ooh, scary stuff, right? And then they find out that these satanic witches have infiltrated every aspect of rural Texas life, from the DOT to the sheriff to the lady at the library to random tourist at a cheap roadside motel. They're all satanic witches, because we satanic witches have so much influence in Texas. So much influence. Meanwhile, they could have been killed at any moment, since we have so much influence and we are literally everywhere. We are coming into your neighborhoods. We're just going to drive our cars in the road and go to libraries and reshelve books. That's what we do. Meanwhile, they could have been ended at any moment, but no. They had to be toyed with and played with. And then these people decide to drive their motorhome all the way back to the rural space to avoid all of these satanic people. They have to go to more and more into the wilderness. So they drive literally into the ring of fire. The end. The end. That's it. The end.
Thank you. Thank you. It is definitely a road movie. It is definitely horror. It is definitely a 70s witch film. But thank you for that thorough synopsis. Heather, do we happen to have 5 more things that we need to know about this film? You're muted. You're muted.
There. I did not mute myself. So that was the somewhere in the ghost world muted me. So I've got some basics, context, which is fun with these films. The actors, a little bit of witchcraft stuff going on, and then we'll talk about road movies. But first, let's just talk about the basics here. 1975, directed by Jack Starrett. And if you don't know who that is, he is best known for his role as Gabby Johnson in the movie Blazing Saddles, which I actually happened to watch a week ago, which is really funny. It was pretty much a mainstay at the drive-in at that point in time. It was, I think it made about 12 million. It was a success. It was only like 1.7 million is I believe, let me just look at my chart here. 1.7 million is how much it costs. So making 12 million, and then 6 million right to video. So it did very well, even though the reviews are typically is mid. They're just not great reviews, but it did well. It was a success. They were thinking about doing a reboot more recently. It never got off the ground. I think when I say recently, probably in the last 15 years. So that is the basics of what this is. It's obviously a satanic witch film from the 70s. So let's talk a little bit about context. So if you've been watching our Coven for the last couple of years, you know I talk about this all the time. This was a period of time when witchcraft, satanic witchcraft, specifically movies, became all the rage. It started in 1969 when Hollywood stopped censoring itself and released, and we went to the rating system, and all hell broke loose. In Hollywood, quite literally. So this is one of those. It is towards the end of the period when these were the most popular. This, similar to Rosemary's Baby and a couple others, are more mainstream versions of that type of film. Most of the ones we've watched so far have been B movies. So this is why you don't see any boobs and butts in this one. For the most part, they're further away, they're hidden, they're framed out. By the Fire, for example, you don't see that stuff in the other movies we've watched, like Necromancy and Blood Sabbath. I don't know if we watched Blood Sabbath. A Blood Orgy of the She-Devils. We saw that one. You see all of it because they're B movies. This is not. This has major stars in it, so a lot of that was toned down. But that is what this is about. So this. Sorry, Jason.
No. I
This
was ready to do this song.
Save it, hold it back. Maybe at a reboot they'll do that. So that's the interesting aspect of this, because it is one of those movies, but it's sort of towards the end. And of course, probably a lot of people said they did this because they were playing into the Satanic Panic. That is incorrect. The Satanic Panic doesn't start until the 80s. What we find here is the Hollywood auteurs and directors. There was this rush to put on screen things that could not be seen previously. So you had all kinds of new subjects being thrown out all over Hollywood. So that's what this is. And one of those subjects, of course, was witchcraft and Satanism, of course, pairing that was caused by the emergence of the community, the real witchcraft community, as well as all of the other stuff going on. So you can read my book to get an in-depth idea of what that is. So let's move on to actors. I'm just going to point out 4 of them to keep it short. We got Peter Fonda, who is Jane Fonda's brother, Henry Fonda's son, and the father of Bridget Fonda, if you've seen her in the movies. He is probably best known for Easy Rider. He was in Cannonball Run and Ghost Rider and a number of other things. So really keeping it short, you got Peter Fonda there. You've got Warren Oates. Warren Oates is best known for his role in Wild Bunch, 1969 Sam Peckinpah movie. If you have not seen that movie, you must. It is a very critical movie in American film history, especially Westerns. And that's another lecture for another time. He's also in Badlands, Stripes, 1941, and a host of other films. Loretta Swit. There he is. Loretta Swit, of course, best known for MASH and all of the various forms of MASH. She was all over. That's what she's best known for. And then Lara Parker. She's best known for Dark Shadows. That's where she appeared. And I'm talking about Dark Shadows from that period of time, not the more recent one. Unfortunately, all 4 of these actors are no longer with us. And I will add that I believe Loretta Swit just died this year. I think in the spring. So the rest of them, several of them died pretty young. So anyway, that's our main cast. And then let's talk about the witchcraft in here. This, of course, comes in at the period of time when we're seeing witchcraft movies being popular. It is very common for it to be regular people that fall into a place where there's witchcraft. And of course, most of these movies end where the witches win. And we see that happens here. This is pretty standard for these type of movies. And we do get instances of witchcraft being mentioned in here, and some of it feels not real. I hate to say that, but there is some mention where there are ties. You heard them say, "So mote it be." You heard them say, "Any evil you cause will be returned to you ninefold. So mote it be," was what it said. That they use the word runes. They say full moon and high priest. So they're using bits and pieces. It was suggested, in fact, the director suggested that he had hired real Satanists to be the Satanists in the movie. Loretta Swit said that was absolutely ridiculous. Although everybody she said everybody. Let me see if but all of those Texans can be little devils. I think Thumper could probably let us know if that's true or not. She did deny it. And she also said that, or I don't know if it was her, somebody else said that it wouldn't have been possible to hire witches or Satanists in Hollywood at the time. That is categorically incorrect. We know that Satanists, real Satanists, as well as witches, were very much embedded in Hollywood. And I don't mean in a negative way. I mean, they were there. So it could have been possible that they hired some people who are practicing modern witchcraft for it. It is possible, certainly, but not in the way that I believe the director was suggesting. And they also, again, this was not the Satanic Panic. He wasn't saying it. Someone suggested it's because he was playing it again into the Satanic Panic. He was not, because it wasn't the Satanic Panic. But it was, if he said it, for definitely for promotional reasons. That would have been the appeal. So I think Jason's going to talk more about the letter in a bit. You can do that in a minute. Let me finish up, and because I think there's a little more to it, right?
Yes, there's a little more to it.
So I'll let you go ahead and move on with that, and I'll go to number 5, which is going to be road trip movies. And I think this is super fun. This is a little off the beaten path because it's not witchcraft related, but it's important to kind of in these road movies, the vehicle almost is another character, of course. And in fact, the RV here, the shots of the RV where it's falling apart in various places, those scenes were used as stock footage in the TV show Fall Guy in the 80s, this movie, which is kind of neat. But I'm going to just give you a sense of these road trip movies. I'm sure everybody has ones they loved. Have been going on since the beginning of Hollywood. Cars have been around since Hollywood has been around. And so you get a car and you go on a road trip. Some of the oldest ones are Happen One Night, which is a fantastic movie if I haven't seen it, Coven. And then Grapes of Wrath is from the 40s, another good one. You have Bonnie and Clyde and Easy Rider, I already mentioned, both road trip movies from the 60s. You have, of course, one of my all-time favorite road trip movies, The Muppet Movie. Let me tell you, that's my childhood right there. Is that and the Studebaker. That's all I needed to know. Cannonball Run, National Lampoon's Vacation. Did we just see a shot of that, I believe? Another one. Thelma and Louise, for all the ladies out there that want to go on a road trip. Most road trip movies have guys in them. Thelma and Louise is not. National Born Killers from the 90s. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is considered a road movie. Moana is considered a road movie when I was looking at lists, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sort of. We're the Millers. And I just watched an interesting movie. It's not my favorite movie. It's not greatest issues, but it's called Band on the Run. It's about a Detroit band that's trying to get to South by Southwest, another place in Texas. It's an indie film that's just come out. It's in the last year. And then for something a little different, I want to tell you about a really great documentary road movie. This is a documentary called, what's it called? Magic Trip. And it is really great. Magic Trip, Ken Kenzie's Search for a Cool Place. It's from 2011. It's about the magic bus ride across the country. And that is a documentary, but it is a fantastic road movie. So I bet you guys have favorite road movies too, because everybody does. There's some really great ones out there. Tell me what your favorite road movies are.
Wizard of Oz.
Mine was...
Wizard of Oz is not really it has to have a car.
Yellow Brick Road. They're following the Yellow Brick Road.
They're not in a car.
She meets everybody on the Yellow Brick Road.
Okay. I'll that's good.
Mine was, and it just affected me however I saw it, and it makes me scared of trucks on the road, was the Dennis Weaver one. I think somebody said that was called Duel.
It's called Duel.
So that, I think it stayed with me for months. And even now, when city driving doesn't scare me at all. Crazy traffic doesn't scare me. When I'm on some road, when you haven't seen another car in 2 hours, and you see a truck coming up, tears the pants off me even today. So that's fine. Yeah.
The Blues Brothers. That's probably a road movie. Yeah.
That's a road trip movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have two favorites. Oceana said Tu Wong Fu, which actually is my number one favorite road film. But the other favorite that I have is from the 70s, and it's called simply The Car. And it was parodied even on Futurama, where he's a werecar. Bender turns into a car and haunts, and he's got this certain distinct honk. Those are great. One that is awful, but also kind of good, is called The Tire, which it's a rogue tire that it's like from 1998 or something. This rogue tire in a small Western Texas town is plaguing people and rolling them over and then somehow unaliving them where the rubber hits the road. It's bad, but I love it.
Mm.
Anybody else? Movies? We got a bunch being laid here. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat room. Melissa and Colin, Jeepers Creepers is nice. Two Lane Press. Like, we just like cars. Is that the American culture thing?
And Priscilla Queen of the Desert's Australian, but I was going to say Priscilla Queen of the Desert is To Wong Fu. Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It's the same film. One's Australian, one's the U.S. So if you like one, see the other one because they're great. But yeah, and during the 70s, there was a lot of attention on cars and stuff. That was a big thing. So there's a bunch that are kind of in the 70s. Thumper, I guess this is probably your favorite road movie.
This is. I've been kind of quiet because my connection is spotty, so I didn't want to jinx anything. But no, for a road trip movie, this is my favorite. Definitely To Wong Fu and Adventures of Priscilla are up there as well. Somebody mentioned Mad Max, which is I think falls into the genre. Because of just my age, National Lampoon's Vacation is my all-time favorite road trip movie. That is the one that just nothing compares to that. I don't know that it was inspired by Race with the Devil, but I like to think it was.
This is crazy. Sorry.
Okay. So is that our 5
Yeah,
things?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it. That's enough.
Okay. Things. I didn't do well because poor dog and the other poor dog and the poor snake. Why do they need to sacrifice animals?
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I know. I was like completely not looking through. And I'm just thinking way back in 1975, there wasn't like Humane Society on set there. I bet you at least the snake lost his life there. So that just does that movie in for me. It's a personal thing. I don't know. I did like the movie didn't do it for me, but because I really liked the people in it and I liked combining the weird, spooky horror stuff with a road movie and that weird sensibility of the motorhome 70s modern everything, because it just kind of cracked me up.
I remember watching them. Oh, go. Sorry, Heather.
No, let me just tell Patti. Loretta Swit said the snakes were not harmed at all, and they were like other actors, and they were treated very nicely. So I just wonder. Yeah, really? That's what she said in her interview. So there you go.
Really? Oh, thank you. Then you just changed my whole opinion. That is good. I mean, I didn't think they really killed the dogs. They didn't need to kill the dogs. But if Loretta said it, then I will believe it.
I just remember watching this and thinking, "Oh no, Patti!" Like that was the first thing I thought about during the dog scene. I felt like my heart broke for you.
Thank you. But if Loretta said it, Loretta's my girl. I told you guys last week or off air. I don't know that. I used to do Loretta Swit, which sounds funny. I used to imitate Loretta Swit on old shows on aircraft carriers and other places. But we had the whole cast was perfect, and I was close enough, and it was really fun. I did get to sit next to her at a party in West Hollywood, and I just kept trying to look over and look back. And I didn't ever say anything because I was just shyer back then. Now I was like, I look like you sometimes. I mean, I wanted to take a picture of it. That was pre-selfie. I mean, everybody having a phone in your hand. But anyway, I love her. So if she said that, you just made my day, Heather Greene.
James, please.
Thank you. You just made my. I'm gonna hug my goats. Go Thumper.
I will say that I did try to warn Patti that something bad happened to the dog before we watched the movie, but the dog was itself a good character because from the beginning of the movie, the dog knew something was wrong and the dog was trying to warn everybody. And so it was sad the dog died, but from the cult point of view, the dog was like the squealer they had to take him out because he was going to warn everybody, or she was going to warn everybody about the cult. So it wasn't that I felt bad that the dog was killed, but she wasn't killed just for the sake of killing her. There was a plot point.
Yeah, because she would have told them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jason.
You know, this was a film where I would look at the runtime and go, there's only 10 minutes left. Is anything going to happen in this movie? Like, it was like the pacing of it was just so odd to me. And how did they get off the highway to get to where they were that it took them so long to get back on the highway? Like days worth of trying to get back on the highway. The logistics of it just didn't make sense. And I get it. They didn't even have MapQuest, right? You see them looking through a phone book trying to get around, but it felt more labored than I remember as a child and the Rand McNally Atlas, right? You know, it just, I want to believe things in films, and I had trouble believing things in this film. Though I was riveted till the end because I just kept waiting for something to happen. And it just felt like it took so long for something to happen. I hope I'm not alone in that feeling, but that was my feeling.
The entire time, the Satanists could have done them in at any time. I mean, the Satanists it's basically the entire county in Texas. Like everywhere they go, whether it be the library or whether it be at the motel or the sheriff's or even the DOT or the people moving mobile homes, as you see here, like they're all just sort of super coordinated. And this is even before mobile phones.
Right? Did they all have CBs? Is that how they communicated? Trucker, good for, buddy. I got them 4 normals we need to kill out there in their RV. Check. You know, like how is this working?
10-4 back door. I'll see you over there. I'll put the pedal to the metal and let it roar. I'm gonna be on to Macon Town. Gonna catch him for sure.
We've got a satanic convoy going on. You know, that's what it was like.
I mean, I've had a few satanic convoys. I mean, not really, but in my mind I do. Like I've driven. I mean, you were going someplace I was not going. You are not. Shame on you for your dirty thoughts. But I have driven. I've driven on the highway. I mean, I felt like if ever there were a devil, I would feel like it would be on the highway. So maybe everyone on the highway is satanic. I mean, I have driven on the 405.
That's satanic.
I have a theory about this. I think that one of my loves of horror movies is when one of the supposed victims accidentally has skills that make them the final character. If you've ever seen the movie You're Next, where one of the characters just casually drops that she was raised in a survivalist cult, and then she's able to take down all the killers. I think the reason why there was so much focus on the 2 guys being the motorcyclists and rough and tumble and rugged and very good drivers was so that they could survive as long as they did, because so much of the attempts to kill them were on the road, and the cult did not anticipate them being basically stunt drivers. So had they not been motorcyclists, the cult would have taken them out immediately. But because they were so tough,
a motorcycle and an RV are exactly the same.
In the 70s, yes, absolutely. We have to think of the time. But I think that was why so much effort was put into how they were at the beginning, to show that they had the metal to survive all the various attempts on them.
I just kept waiting for them to get the motorcycles out and do cool things on the motorcycles. This is the era of Evel Knievel, who was a famous motorcycle stunt person. For all of you who are much younger and would not know who that person is. And we never got that, though, right? I mean, they were just there the whole time. Like, do you know how fast a motorcycle is? You gas that up, and then you get to Amarillo. Fast, right? Like,
and
how hard would that have been to do?
They have 2 motorcycles. They could have abandoned the RV,
yes,
gotten on those motorcycles, and they could have gone even through the desert on those motorcycles.
They get great gas mileage, even back in the 70s.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
They could have. I did think that the motorcycle in the beginning, I guess you're probably right, Thumper, showing how good they were. I was getting bored. That was just way too much dirt biking for a not dirt bike person.
It was a lot of padding in the film, I think. Let's extend
padding.
the runtime by showing Peter Fonda on a motorcycle. It will make you think of Easy Rider, so you'll be much happier with this movie.
Yep.
And you'll pretend you're somewhere else.
And I think that is exactly, for me, what you just said, I believe, is exactly the way I felt this. I felt like they said, okay, we want to make a Peter Fonda vehicle. Let's get an Easy Rider guy in here. Let's do a little Easy Rider thing. Let's do, these road trip movies are really cool. We're going to have a road trip movie. Oh, Satanic movies are really cool. How can we blend that? And it just wasn't balanced. It spent too much time with the motorcycles at the beginning and then didn't really give us that at all throughout to enjoy it at any point. And then the satanic cult was just this looming over. We didn't really get to know them. In most of the B movies, whether it's what's the one where the guy can't think of the name of it right now. Anyway, you get to know some of the characters in the satanic cult a little bit. So it's like there's a little bit more depth to the story. Like this had no story. It was just surface. And it just went, okay, we're going to give you a little of this, a little of this, a little of this. Then we're going to do a big fire circle and we're out. And I'm like, this, you know what this was? At the end of the movie, I said, this is the first part of the movie. This could have condensed, like take out all that extra stuff, given us the little road trip where this couple goes out and does all of this. And then the second part of the movie is when the brother or the sister or the parents or somebody says, they didn't show up for the biker convention. Where are they? And then we go, and then you get the second part of the movie, sort of like a Psycho kind of situation. That would have made it a more in-depth movie. So that's what I want. I want this to be redone, and I want that to be the first part, and then the rest of it. My sense is this was done on the far end, and they were piecemealing some popular stuff together along with Peter Fonda, and kind of just did not go far enough to give us a really solid, interesting story.
They could have made this a short film, because if they could get snakes in the RV, they could have gotten people in the RV. And that didn't make any sense to me. Hey, we could just wait for him and then kill him with a gun. But no, we're going to put some rattlesnakes in the RV because that's how we do it in Satanic, Texas. That's how we do it. Yeah. Snake up, right? I mean, dumb. It doesn't make sense.
I think... Go ahead.
That's what I love about Satanic, Texas, though. That is...
They snake up.
Some of my tensest
block everybody out.
Yeah.
I loved about the movie. You go.
Where timing is basic. No, this was just a little comment. Some of my most tense moments were, is that motorhome going to fall over? Or stall, or how can you take it in the water, or how can you? It's not a 4-wheel drive. It's a Winnebago. That caused tension with me more than the stupid snakes.
And if they could put snakes on mother effing snakes on the mother effing motorhome, couldn't they have just, I don't know, slashed the tires, stolen the battery? Unplugged a spark wire, put some sugar in the gas tank,
poison the food. There's so many things you could do.
Anything, literally anything. But I think that even without the so mote it be and the so-called sacrifice, you wouldn't even know that this was a witch film. I mean, you might think it was a what film, but I don't think you would think it was a witch film. Because
it could be Deliverance, right? Without the sacrifice scene, it's just Deliverance. Why are these Yankee people here in rural Texas in their fancy RV with a microwave and 4-channel stereo sound? Right? Let's just kill them for that reason.
I think Thumper had an opinion that got lost with his timing.
Oh, I did. Thank you. I think what I just personally liked about it was I agree with what everybody is saying about the movie and how terrible it is and how it is sort of a mashup of genres. But I loved the idea that you could never really tell, unless they were getting like chased by wrecking trucks, who was in the cult and who wasn't. And can we trust anyone at all? Can we trust the guy who we asked if we could borrow his phone? The phone doesn't work. Does it not work because we're in rural Texas, or does it not work because we're in Satanic Texas? I think the rattlesnakes made sense to me in terms of, hey, what happened to the people of Winnebago? Oh, some snakes got in there. You know what happens when the city slickers come out here? They don't lock the door and the snakes get in. It would have been a lot of the attempts on their lives would have been kind of plausible. Slashing the tires would have worked too. The Winnebago lost control, but I just always really appreciated that there was no way to know if they could ever trust anyone, even when they made it out of rural Texas. You know, what got them in the end was complacency, and I liked that.
I'm going to tell you what got him in the end. No, actually. Speaking of Texas, I wanted to say there are two things that come from Texas. Steers and all my exes live in Texas. You thought I was going queer, didn't you?
So, Thumper, have you seen the movie The Naked Witch? This is another.
The Naked Witch?
This is another Texas witch in Texas movie. I figured, you being from Texas, you would have seen this movie.
You will.
I have not. I will be looking it up immediately.
I'll have to give you a link. It's not easy to find because it's an early 60s movie that we sometime will have to watch it on here. But this is another waking 300-year-old witch in Texas. I can't remember what town right at the top of my head, but she wakes back up and goes on a murder streak. So gotta get up with this witch movie. There's so many witches in Texas.
All I can say is that satanic witches in Texas are very unattractive.
Yes.
They cast the least attractive people, except for the four, normies, whatever they wanted to call them. They just were ugly.
They really were deliverance witches, right? I mean, they just weren't attractive. It was very sad.
They were not attractive. I mean, I understand country people. You're not in Hollywood anymore. You're not whatever. I travel a lot, but they went out of their way to cast this unattractive.
Probably on purpose, I would think, because they're trying to create that country environment, So,
Heather, how many movies have like witches in deeply like now red southern states worshiping the devil like this film?
I think more
Martha,
than
isn't that an anomaly, or is it more common?
No, it's common, especially when you start talking about voodoo films and hoodoo films are going to be very common with that, more common with that, just because of the perceptions. And then you have all the Southern Gothic, Southern horror films have all that kind of stuff too. And they'll be, you'll get the ones from New Orleans or get the ones from Beautiful Creatures was Southern. So yeah, there's a mystique about the South. Maybe not so much Texas, because Texas has a different mystique than the South where I am and then where Richard-Lael is. There's a mystique about especially the coastal South that is very magical. So you'll get a lot of stuff. It's a different type of thing. Texas is you don't see a lot of Texas witch movies. There is a movie where It'll Take Me a Minute, Resurrection, where I believe at the end of the movie, she ends up in Texas, but I don't believe she starts there. And I'd have to find out if she starts there. But there's very few witch movies that I can think of that actually formally take place in Texas, it doesn't have the magical mystique the same way as the rest of the South does.
Right, yeah.
I want to know from you, send it back over to you. What is with the letter? You said you have a little bit more on that.
So if we could put the letter back up, the letter is really fascinating because while I was watching the film and that shows up, you see the script at the bottom. Those are not runes. That is Theban script, which dates back to 1518 and then was popularized in the 3 books of occult philosophy by Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. And sometimes that particular alphabet is known as the witches' alphabet, especially because a lot of early Gardnerian witches, people who studied with Gerald Gardner and stuff, used that particular alphabet when doing magical things. So I thought it was pretty cool that they used Theban, because like we think of runes, that's much more common than Theban script, and they used Theban. What I don't get about this note, though, is the returns 9-fold, which is really different because most witches would say it returns to you 3-fold. That's the 3-fold law of return, which was actually popularized by Raymond Buckland, whom you can read more about in High Priest. Raymond Buckland, the father.
Satanic witches.
Yeah, so like maybe it's just more intense because they're
Right?
satanic witches.
Right.
Like
if we were just Gardnerian witches and loving nature, then where's the drama?
it just goes to 3. This one goes to 9. It goes to 9. That's how our 3-fold is. It goes to 9. Spinal Tap 2 now in theaters everywhere.
So could you read that non-rune Theban script? Could any of us read that?
You could.
You could. I can't read Theban. I just recognized it, is all.
I have the alphabet. I'm working on a book that's about reading grimoire texts, and we have several guides to a lot of these magical old scripts, and Theban is one of them. Theban's the most common one that appears in the books that I work on. But I have the alphabet. We can, if you send me that image, I can see if it means. It probably doesn't. They probably grabbed it out of one of like the books that you're talking about. They probably just grabbed it out. It's like they grabbed the 2 books that they talk about in the movie. They just grabbed a couple of witchcraft books off the shelf that looked good. We have the images there. They mention the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology in Modern Times or something. That's it. That's the one they have. And then the Pictorial History of Magic and the Supernatural. You can actually buy those still. They're classic copies from like Abe Books and stuff like that.
But you can't check them out of the library because they're reference materials only. They stay in the reference area. They're very important.
You know, I remember going to the library and looking for books like that when I was young and finding those. So when I heard them talking, I looked them up and I was like, oh, I just can remember being young, going to the library and seeing the witchcraft reference books. I'm like, ooh.
You know, another thing about this movie is, I swear to you, it's brought to you by KOA Campgrounds. Because before the RV parks for the night, the Peter Fonda character is like, hey, we can go to this campground. They've got a pool and they've got a 5-star restaurant. And there'll be people there and we can hang out and it'll be really nice and really posh. And then the other guy's like, well, we've got this RV. We don't need to go anywhere else. We can just park anywhere and have a great meal. And if they'd just gone to the RV park, none of this would have ever happened. So remember, Race with the Devil brought to you by KOA Campgrounds, because you can't just park your RV anywhere.
Perfect.
I think of a lot of weird things while I watch these movies.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's definitely Theban. AI, you are drunk, and I do not trust you.
That's most certainly Theban.
Yeah. Yeah. I made sure to look it up, which you can get Theban in Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft, written by, not me, written by Raymond Buckland. I make nothing if you buy this book. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So, have we discussed everything there is to discuss about this rogue horror satanic witch movie?
Thumper, it's your birthday movie. I want to know why you love this movie so much, really.
I used to drink, and I remember this movie like knocking back a few cocktails and watching a witch movie. So it was a little different than I remembered it from my first viewing. I really, honestly, like I said earlier, the idea of like a secret satanic murder cult in Texas, like, pleases me to no end. I think there's another movie called Brotherhood of Satan that might actually take place in Texas, because Central and West Texas is very like wasteland, and so it provides that kind of mystique for the right movie. I don't know. I just think it's overall though it's just campy and stupid and fun for me. I thought so much of the acting was over the top in the wrong places. This movie is to me like what Ouija Shark was to Courtney. Like, I know I shouldn't love it as much as I do, but I'm just gonna love it.
Okay, thank you. And when is your birthday, Thumper?
Tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Thumper.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay, do we have any quotes on this film?
Thumper has.
I have. Jason sent one, and I've already lost it. So after I do these, he can jump in.
It's in the private chat. Just scroll up.
I'm using other people's technologies, and I'm afraid to touch anything because of all the problems I've already had. But somebody asked, a gas station attendant asked Frank what happened to the van with the back window all busted up, and he said, "I don't drive too well when I'm asleep." There was also when somebody at the trailer park or the RV park pointed out that he got plastic instead of wood in the RV, he unreasonably angry went, "Well, plastic is easier to wipe off," and that was a weird, like, a lot. Of course at the library when they take the books, there's the quote about, "Why don't you go put these back on the shelves?" And if I was a small town librarian, I would have lunged over the desk and taken the books. But that whole moment was lovely for me. And my favorite is, "I don't believe a school bus on a Sunday."
That was a good line.
That was an amazing line.
Like
Maybe that's why I love the movie.
That was the first time the characters showed any awareness as to their situation.
But and my favorite line, actually, Jason, do you want to give your line real quick that I can't find?
We just put it on the screen if you want to read it from there, or I'll just read.
I could do that.
Yeah, put it back up, Rob, if you can. Or I'll just say, "I don't want to overload this dinner party with cinnamon," which I want to use going forward in my life. There it is. "I don't want to overload this dinner party with cinnamon." Like that. That's amazing. Then he's like, "I love my wife."
That is a wonderful.
My wedding anniversary is next week, so I'm going to use that when I go out with my wife. Yeah.
Please do. But the best line in the whole movie is when they have finally made it through Fisher and they're on the way to Amarillo and they're down the highway and they've all been through all these people trying to kill them, and Roger says, "Hey, everybody, lighten up. It's all over." And then the flames shoot up around the other.
Can I just jump in really quick? I missed there was a conversation about Pumpkinhead, and I just want to shout it out because Pumpkinhead's my favorite horror movie ever. So whoever was talking about that, I don't know, there was a big feed going on, and I couldn't jump in and say anything, but applause to whoever loves Pumpkinhead. Whoever you were, yes, thank you. You made my night. That's it. That's all I got. It was Jason's turn.
Thank you. So, Jason, do we have a Mankey movie moment?
Of course we do. With a movie like this. So, in the history of this show, I'm very used to being lied to. The first perpetrator I think of is, of course, Courtney Buckley. I'm sad that you're not here, Courtney, but also relieved that I will not be hexed. This movie is good, I promise, Courtney often tells us. And then that movie, of course, turns out to be Ouija Shark or Velocipaster, neither of which are good movies. So Courtney has lied to me a lot over the course of this coven. There are times during the show when I am quite negative towards a film, and during the show, Richard-Lael will also be quite negative In those moments, I think to myself, hey, I've got some backup. This is great. And then by the time we get to Wands Up, Richard-Lael is giving it a big Wands Up to whatever crappy film we just talked about it. Not only do I feel betrayed, I feel lied to. Heather and I both have a huge love of witchcraft history, and often when she's picking movies for us to watch, she'll say something like, this movie was really important in the history of witchcraft in film. And then I'll watch that movie and I'll think to myself, this is as important as the toe jam that once existed between my grandmother's toes, which means, of course, that it's not important at all. And again, I feel lied to. Thumper Forge, who picked tonight's film for his birthday, has told me several times over the past 4 years that we are friends. And then he made me watch Race with the Devil. So I don't really think we are friends. This is my favorite movie, and it's great, he said, with all the sincerity of my mother telling me liver and onions are good. Gross. My mother lied, and Thumper lied. And I tried really hard to think of a joke to make here to also put Patti in the category of people who have lied to me, and I just couldn't come up with one. Perhaps that's because blondes not only have more fun, but are also more truthful. Yay to us, Patti. So, not only am I sometimes lied to by the members of this coven, I also often feel lied to by the titles of the films that we watch. Take, for example, tonight's movie, Race with the Devil. I'm not spoiling anything at this point by letting you know that there is no race in this movie, and there's also no devil. Instead of the devil, all we get are a bunch of sons of the soil from Texas who are apparently part of some cult. If you aren't familiar with the term sons of the soil, it's a nice way to say hillbilly, at least according to The Simpsons. The movie starts out in a way where you think it might not be lying to you. Peter Fonda is shown riding a motorcycle around a track. And at that point, I think to myself, the motorcycle is going to be a big part of this film. I mean, Fonda was an easy rider and was one of that movie's writers, so that makes sense. Making less sense as a guy critiquing Fonda's motorcycle riding who looks like he's 75, but it's the 70s, so this old guy is probably only 26. Later, Fonda and the old guy ride their motorcycles. Great. We are going to get some cool motorcycle stunts later. We do not get cool motorcycle stunts later. For most of the movie, those motorcycles stay strapped to the back of a fully stacked RV. An RV that even has a microwave and 4-channel stereo sound. Wow, what a shaggin' wagon. I think the RV also has a top speed of about 55 miles per hour, which means there's no racing here. All there is an RV trying to get away from some dilapidated pickup trucks and other assorted vehicles. With those vehicles all being driven by Texas rednecks who apparently worship the devil. Yippity-doo-dah! This is not what I was promised. The RV chase is kind of exciting, but it's clearly not a race, and the devil is not involved. If I had paid money to see this movie, I would have wanted my money back. And perhaps, worst of all, in a movie about the devil, they blur out the boobs. Sure, there are some long-distance butt shots, but the free-floating boobies are consistently concealed by long camera shots and smoke from the body of a burning corpse or a fire or whatever it is. Lame. If you can't give me a real race with the devil, you should at least give me a few real boobs and butts.
You got it in.
Beautiful.
Yes. You knew I was going to boobs and butts, Heather. Of course.
Oh,
boobs
yeah.
and butts.
It's
Boobs
a
and
70s satanic film, of course. That's what you expect, but it wasn't a B film. If they had done it like a B film, it might have actually been better. If they
But I
had
mean,
gone the
they
extra
started.
mile.
They started, and the butts are there, and then there should be a shot of the boobs, and they're like pixelated out almost. And I'm like, did I just get a copy of this film that was made like ready for primetime television or what? Like, I felt so cheated. So cheated. I love 70s boobs. Love them.
Whole different
Well,
kind
the
of
Brotherhood of Satan.
All right.
The Brotherhood of Satan that Thumper Forge said is his second favorite 70s movie. You've mentioned it a couple times. We might have to get that one on the list just to regain your credibility, right?
Well, I think we'll be doing that September 16th. 2026 in honor of Thumper's birthday next year, right? I mean, that makes sense. You can't go anywhere, Thumper.
I will say, when I saw the pixelated boobs, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that. Jason's not going to be pleased."
I'm a simple man. I wanted a race,
All
a
right.
devil, and boobs and butts, and I didn't get a race, a devil, or boobs with butts.
But we got dead
Yeah,
snakes.
we did.
But that were not harmed in the making. All right, it is time to vote. Wands up, wands down. So all you fabulous people in the chat room with your great comment, wands up or wands down? And my wand is fighting.
I'm about to lie.
He's lying. He
Well, I
lied.
was lying when I said I didn't like it, but I actually do like it.
I kind of liked it too, and I don't know why.
Okay, I can't find my wand. My goat is at halfway, because I only get it halfway because if they didn't really hurt the snake and the dogs, I'm okay. So Thumper up, Richard-Lael up. You're almost up, Jason, and you're halfway, Heather. So we've got Tabitha, wands up. That being said, wands neutral. Wands down for Ray and Angel. I don't know, it's from 275, didn't watch it. Wands down from Colin. Wands neutral from Rob.
What was that? Oh, is that your goat, Patty?
Yes, that was a goat.
The thing is, it doesn't always turn off.
That was one of the best moments the show has ever had.
Yeah.
Wait, stop.
It's saying happy birthday, Thumper, I think.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm sorry. It's screwed in. It's taking anything off.
I want one of those so bad.
I know. This is the best thing, my best toy. But it has a problem with its on-off switch, just a slight one. And you can't just rip the battery out. It is screwed in. Okay. So we have more. I don't know who wins on this. Who the ups and downs wins on this? It's pretty neutral, I think. Down, don't stop. Don't stop. I did that. The goat votes down. So neutral. We're going to go with neutral. What are we watching next week, everybody?
Highlander. So get ready.
Did win an Oscar for greatest movie ever.
Besides, who wants to live forever anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Highlander next week. Everybody watch it so you can vote with us. Hopefully there's no dead animal. Is there any dead animals?
Oh, it's been forever since I've seen it, like 40 years.
Yeah. It's been too long. I can't remember either.
No, there's not. You're fine.
Okay. All right. So Highlander next week. We have a minute left before we cackle and everything else. Does anybody have anything going on that they want to talk about or invite people to or tell them to watch or read or anything like that?
I have a Victorian tea coming up the 10th of October. If you're here in New Orleans, I am doing a Victorian Memento Mori tea. So if you would like to come, you can find me, message me. We'll do a seance. We'll do readings. It'll be a fun Victorian evening. So it'll be perfect.
Yay! Thank you, Jason.
Nothing. I'm home for a while. Nothing.
Whoa. That's rarer than me being home. That's good. Heather.
I'm going to have some things going on in October, November, but I don't have dates and times and anything yet, so I will keep you in suspense. But otherwise, I did have an article come out this week, so if you're interested, you can look at Religion News Service and read a little bit about modern American heathens.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thumper?
Well, Jason Mankey has my home address, so I will be moving.
You so don't try to find Thumper. I've got
Yes.
Rock Island coming up. I'm going to be in Illinois for this really great event, October 4th. And then I'm going to be in Lexington, Kentucky for Scarefest weekend. And then I'm going to be at Midwest at Eau Claire, Wisconsin for Pagana Nominamicon. And then I'm going to New Orleans and hopefully see Richard-Lael at the Vampire Ball. And I'm doing a book signing for Dollcraft at Ghost City Tours. I'm going to be coast to coast that night. And then 4 days of events for the Vampire Ball. So come to New Orleans. We should all come.
You should all come to New Orleans.
All come to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So that's it. It is that time. So we have one more thing to do. We could go. We could sing Happy Birthday, or we can cackle.
We're
gonna
can cackle
cackle.
with the Texas accent.
Okay, cackle. Are we the Satanists or the normal people?
Clearly, this.
Oh, we'd have
Clearly,
to be
the Satanists.
Clearly the Satanists. Okay, Texas accent. 1, 2,
Ah.
3.